The way to have power is to take it. How can a country with the largest oil reserve in the world be facing such political and social turmoil along with high poverty? Hi, my name is Candice Britton, and for this oral presentation, I'll be discussing the current situation in Venezuela and what everyone can do to assist. During the 1970s, Venezuela was the richest country in the Americas. Well, in the Latin America, with the region's highest growth rate and the lowest levels of inequality. It was one of the most stable democracies in the Americas. However, things started to fall apart in the early 1980s. The nation endured 3 coup attempts and 1 presidential impeachment. As a result, the per capita growth stopped and led to mass protests becoming the norm. What happened? The protests led us today. The protests we see today started years ago. And before the current president, Nicolas Maduro, took office, and even before the economy fell. Currently, the situation is a mixture of political disorder and of bad economy, the misuse of funds for the poor, along with corruption. The U.S. President George W. Bush's blockage of oil purchase, and currently and continued to U.S. President Barack Obama, has left Venezuela without much. Currency manipulation and decades of overspending have destroyed the economy. According to preliminary central bank figures, Venezuelan consumer prices rose over 800% in 2016, while the economy shrank by 18.6%. This marked the largest decline in 13 years and the worst inflation reading on record after the price of oil crashed while taking the economy with it. One cause was high competition from other countries like Iran and Saudi Arabia that caused a short demand of Venezuelan oil. As a result, oil prices began falling dramatically since 2014 and placed Venezuela in one of the largest social crises in the world today. Stores are empty and there's a blockage of medicine, food, and other daily supplies. Can you imagine? You have nothing, no toilet paper to use, no toothpaste. Toilet paper and toothpaste are an essential part of one's living. Venezuela today is not on the decline, but has declined to a point where people cannot find a simple toilet paper to use. Crime in Venezuela is sky high, and the homicides have risen dramatically over the past 2 years. Tension is on the rise, and as the government and opposition accuse each other, some accuse President Maduro of moving towards a dictatorship and want him to resign, while he accuses the opposition of conspiring with foreign countries to destabilize the country. The country is in the middle of a crippling economic crisis that has led to high food prices and a lack of goods. President Maduro says the economic crisis is due to a U.S.-backed capitalist conspiracy. This economic crisis is hitting the country's public sector system the worst and very hard, leaving people without their basic items. As medicine and equipment are not available, the food crisis is atrocious. as the state has tried to ration food and set their prices. But the consequence is that products have disappeared from shops and ended up in the black market, all at exorbitant prices. In an interview on Tuesday, February 21st, 2017, a mother explains to CNN how she will shop for her family and buy what is cheapest and in season. She will substitute one thing for another and in much smaller portions than before. In Venezuela today, more people are skipping meals and are becoming malnourished, while children are dying and have not had milk in over a year. Can you believe having a child not being able to provide the basic necessities, not being able to provide milk for your child, not being able to give your child the basic things he or she needs, no food, having able to subsidize what the child needs most in order just to survive. There's no middle class in Venezuela today. Only the poor who are poorer by the day. The future of some is uncertain, but there is still hope. I am a member of a mommy support group known as Mommies and Tots. We are currently organizing a shipment donation for Venezuela. We're collecting diapers, formula, Boost, Ensure, toilet paper, clothes, bottles for babies, medicine to send to Venezuela to help. I ask of you, in any way possible, these donations of all categories are welcome. No one has ever become poor by giving. This once rich and stable country, now surrounded by nothing but poverty, unhappiness, and death, is decaying. Despair is growing among the people. The children of Venezuela need your help. The collapse of the healthcare system and the scarcity of medicine is costing lives every day. Psychiatric patients struggling with schizophrenia have to go without antipsychotic medication for long periods. Tens of thousands of HIV positive people struggle to find the antiretroviral they need, forcing them into the kind of stop-and-go treatment patterns, and doctors warn risk bringing on AIDS. Cancer patients cannot find chemotherapy drugs. Even malaria, which has essentially disappeared from Venezuela a generation ago and is easily treated with inexpensive medicines, is making a deadly comeback, with this once thriving middle class now trapped in desperation, struggling to put food on the table, and some dying from simple infections due to a lack of basic medication. Venezuela cannot pay to import goods because its government is desperately strapped for cash. Years of mismanagement of funds, heavy spending on poorly run government programs, and lack of investment on its oil fields has resulted in their current situation. Can you imagine alternating eating foods with your husband or wife because there's not enough food? Going to bed hungry with just some water to drink? These are the conditions teachers, nurses, and others have been enjoying in Venezuela. There is no longer a middle class, and the poor, as I mentioned before, is getting poorer. Let us raise our hands. Let us assist in whatever way we can. Find a group to donate. Find a means to give back to society, and let's try to make these babies, these mothers, these sisters a better day tomorrow. Thank you.